I'll share a personal story. Anyone ever read the book The One Thing? The One Thing, Gary from Keller Williams. A couple, right? Real estate. Hopefully you've read it, John. John owns Berkshire Hathaway, key realty in the area here. Right. So the Gary Keller, the One Thing, when he wrote that book, the premise of the book was this: if there was one thing in your life that made everything else easy or unnecessary, what would that one thing be? That's pretty deep. Isn't that deep? If there was one thing in your life that made everything else easier or unnecessary, what would that be? So I read this book probably 15 years ago. I want to say it's about 15 years ago. I wish I had found it when I was a little bit younger, right? I was probably 45 at the time. And it challenged me, and I'm like, what is that? That's one thing. How do I get to one thing? And I prayed about it. And I brought it to my meditation and to my prayer life. I thought about it. I wrote it on a board, on a whiteboard. People who know me know I have a lot of whiteboard in what I do. And I finally came up with it. So here was my one thing. This was 15 years ago. To rarely leave my farm. To rarely leave my farm and still see lots of people. I had no idea how I was going to pull that off. So what I did is I created a venue out of a 1913 dairy barn, started hosting weddings. That was the wrong thing to do, by the way. I would not recommend that for anybody, right? But what I tried to create is I tried to create a space people wanted to come to, right? And it was kind of cool, right? It worked really well. So Gino, I was talking to Gino, matter of fact, it was in February. I've talked to him a couple times since, but I was talking to Gino in February. And I said to him, I'm not really sure how long I'm going to do this thing. I'm 62, should I retire at 67? I'm like, but I just love what I do every day. And he says, Peter, he goes, stop thinking short term. I said, that's 5 years out, because it's short term. The samurai, they think generationally, they think centuries. They think in a legacy term. Well, that's pretty intense. He goes, I'm not expecting that from you. But at least think out in 10 years. Here we go again. I did that one thing. I pretty much had accomplished that, right? Other than I'm here. I would rather have you at my place. But that's okay. All right. So I'm like, what's my next 10 year? What's my next 10 year thinking? So, I read Shine, it challenged me a little bit. I signed up for a group coaching, and I've created it. I'll share that with you a little bit, right? But think out in 10 years. Say, what do I want my life to be like in 10 years? Because what we need to be doing is, if I know what I want it to be in 10 years, how am I behaving today that's going to help me get to there? What are my actions today? If I want to have a wonderful relationship with my wife and my children, maybe I shouldn't snap at them today. Maybe I should ask forgiveness when I fail. Because, oh, by the way, I fail a lot, right? Think in 10-year time frame will help you make better decisions today. It'll make you better decisions for next week and help you make better plans for the quarter or for the year. Think in 10-year time frame.